Good evening, everyone. I am about to get started. Sorry for the delay. This evening, we will be continuing the Humanality project, and I will be showing you how to create a catalog of the different designs that I would have created in the last few streams. And we're going to be arranging them in a grid and learning some other tricks of the trade when it comes to Inkscape. Hopefully you'll be able to take something away from that, but at a point today I will be also discussing a feature that I think Inkscape would benefit from, which I really think would be pretty cool. Blender already has something like it, but I'll get around to that shortly. You see, you can just enjoy the music. A few more minutes, I will start very shortly. Alright, I've got everything loaded. I just need to let everyone on Twitter know that I am live, and we will get started. Alright, let's dive in. So, in the last stream, you would probably remember that I created some different designs from the basic layout that I had, the basic structure. Is that the word I'm looking for? Whatever word I'm looking for. In any case, from what I had the first time, I would have created a number of different variations, and all of those are contained in different layers, and it's not possible currently to you know, use them separately from one another without turning layers on and off. So the plan today is to show you how to turn all these different designs into a catalog that you can then use basically anywhere. Okay, well, let me just pull up my notes here a second. I'm not usually a note taker, but today I am, because I want to make sure I keep this organized. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a transparent layer beneath the design itself, and that transparent layer will actually have a purpose. It's not a white background. If you look at it now in the icon preview, there's a white background, but we're actually going to turn this off. First I'm going to duplicate it though, and then I'm going to turn it off. Call this one transparent backdrop, and unlock it, and then select the rectangle and make it completely transparent. Then we're going to lock that layer again. Alright, so this is our base. And from here now, you're probably wondering, how are we going to turn this into a collection? Well, the first thing that we need to do is start saving these files. And this is one of the reasons I'm going to talk about a feature that Inkscape really needs, which is a collections feature, because obviously there is no way at this point in time, at least not as far as I'm aware, to actually create collections. There's a way to use icon sets and similar stuff, but there's no actual way that I'm aware of to create collections in Inkscape. So the easiest way to do this is actually to just save your files separately. So to do that, I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut, which is usually the same in every app, Ctrl-Shift-S. I'm not sure what it is on Mac. If you know what it is, you can probably type that in the chat. But Ctrl-Shift-S to save as. Alright, and what I'm going to do is create a new folder here. And I'm going to call this base. And save. And then I'm going to turn off the base and turn on the rounder base. Then save again. And now here comes the really tedious part, because without a collections feature you have to basically do everything by hand. There should be an easier way to do this, but there isn't. So what we're going to do is to go through these one by one and just save as we go. So this one I'm going to call what should we call this? I want a respectful name to call this guy. I don't want to disrespect him. But I don't know, how about sidebars? Yeah, I don't know how respectful that is, but it will work. So we'll call him that. And then we're gonna save this one. Just add a 2 to that. As you can see, this is somewhat tedious because you have to do this over and over again. If there were a collections feature, which I'll hopefully have time to discuss in the stream today, this would be much easier. And probably if I don't get the time in a future stream, I will demonstrate how I think that should work, which is that you would just basically be creating new files for anyone you have and iterating upon those without having to save over and over again. Anyway, we'll get to that. I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself there. Okay, so all these, you don't need all these to be added on top of what we already have. So what we're going to do, disable these, and then start from the ponytails. Let me see. Alright, backdrop needs to be on, and the overlay needs to be on. Okay. Okay, so this one is another iteration that we had. I'm gonna save this. Now this could go as a man or woman, so we'll just say plain here. Just a second, let me plug in my oh wait, I forgot. It's still playing through my headphones. So this music is really low for me. It's probably not as low for you, but it's really low for me, so I can't really hear myself speaking. So just give me a second here. Okay, much better now. Okay, so where was I? Next I need to do, let's see, we had here reduce. Let's also save that one. All of these are different iterations that you could have, but I'm not going to run through all of them. So I'm just going to save the basics and then get around to show you what is the meat of the matter for today. So let me just save this. I'll just go with one more halt today so that we don't have too much confusion. Of course, the point of me doing this today is not to run through as many iterations as I can, so I didn't realize that Mohawk sides had the Mohawk already. Anyway, we'll leave that one alone. Okay, so now we're going to turn the mouth on, and I should have actually saved this with the mouth when we had base. Let me see. I probably should have, but we'll leave it as is for now. So let me put base smiling. I just pressed the wrong keyboard shortcut there. Excited. Concerned. Alright, I think we probably have enough of these to work with. So what I'm going to do is now show you how to turn these into a collection on a canvas. And I will explain why I added a transparent layer below them before, well, at a point while I'm doing all of this, before I exported them. So first we need to import all those files that we just created. Now, I could click don't ask again, but I'm not going to do that because I want Inkscape to ask me every time that I import SVG files what to do with them. So I'm just going to run through this quickly, clicking OK each time. I hope it doesn't make that dialog jump anywhere else. I wish there was a way though to import multiple files without having to jump through that hoop every single time. But obviously there isn't. So let me just see here how many of these we actually have. And if I need to export anymore, because we're going to do some maths today and use that to determine the size that they should be on the canvas. So let's see, this is 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14. I probably should have a few more, but let's see how these fit first. I'm just putting them random places so I get them out of the way. I just need one in the center to work with first. It doesn't matter where I put them because we're going to select all of them and then move them around appropriately. So first thing I'm going to do, let me see, I said it was about 14 of them. So I'm going to divide this by 14, which is a very cool feature of Inkscape that I love. You can use mathematics in determining the size of objects and all that. So I'm going to divide that by 14 and it gives me a size to work with. Where did it go? For some reason it's invisible. Alright, let me just copy this. Probably it looks invisible because I'm zoomed out. So I'm going to zoom in on it. Then I'm going to put that size back in again. Now what I want to do is align this to the edge of the page. And now I will explain why I would have added a transparent layer below everything before saving all these files. Now you would have noticed that when I put this to the edge of the page that it still respects the dimensions of that transparent layer. And the reason for that is because the transparent layer has an actual object in it. If there was no object, what would happen instead is that it would actually try to align it to the edges of the drawing itself, which is this part that you can actually see. But because I've used a transparent object, there still is something there as far as Inkscape is concerned, and this helps them with layout, because now if I make all of these the same size, I think about it, I shouldn't have divided that by 14, that should be divided by 7, so let me just multiply this by 2. Right. Then put it back on the edge again. Still can't see it though. Hopefully it will be visible when I'm done. If not, I'll have to just move these onto different pages and choose a different size. In any case, let me copy the size from here and paste that on all of these. But before I do that, in fact, let me select all of these and move them all to the center of the page. Come, it's not selecting y'all. They were trying to be special. Alright, so you've got all those selected. Oh, and the other reason, there's another reason why I use that transparent layer, which I completely forgot, which is that you want to keep a consistent size of the drawing you actually created. So having something surrounding it, an object that surrounds it that contains the full size of the image you created, even though it's transparent, allows you to maintain a consistent size between all those different objects. So now when I have all of these selected and I resize them, you see what happens there. And now I can do this, put this over here. Well, let me align it to the top and the side, And then if I select everything here, I can make the gaps between the objects equal, and there you go. Everything now is arranged perfectly side by side. But we don't want it exactly like this because obviously they're still too close. So we're going to move some of these down. And we're going to use this tool again. I'm not really bothering with the mask right now. This is just kind of haphazard because I'm not spraining my brain to figure out how many I need. I'm basically just demonstrating how this works. You can figure that out on your own, especially if you are far more mathematically inclined and a little less lazy. You can determine how many you would need per page and then use your maths, you know, just not subtract, divide or multiply from up here in the width or the height. Make sure that this is locked so that it keeps the consistent size for everything, and there you have it. Alright, so then for this I'm going to distribute centers. Oops, I have one selected that I do not want. Distribute centers equidistantly. Make sure everybody's aligned to the side of the page. Oh, this guy didn't get aligned to the bottom. That's what happened. Okay, now. Oops. You distribute all of these like that. Could probably move some more of these down. I will probably just duplicate these to give me the exact number that I need, since I'm not actually trying to figure it out exactly. So let me see how many are up here. Is 6 right now, and down here is 5. So I'll make it 6 on each level. Bring this guy down here. Duplicate one of these. Now, of course, if I were doing this a little bit more efficiently, I would have created all of the possible iterations that we could have, and then I'd figure it out from there, but I'm not trying to be that special today. Alright, so now we have all of those in place. I'm going to demonstrate shortly how I can get all of these are out of line, like these are up and down all around. I can get all of them into line very quickly. I'm just doing the basics at this point in time. Let me arrange this guy at the bottom. Right, this guy's already... Oops. I keep forgetting I'm pressing the wrong button there. Alright, good. So, main thing you need to be concerned about are the ones on the sides here. Because what we're going to do now is select all of these. Oops. Let me start again. You have to make sure you select this one first and then the rest. I hope I have everybody selected. I hope I did not deselect anybody just now. So, from here now in the Align and Distribute panel, whatever you call this. Is it a notebook bar? I'm getting a little bit technical, but yeah. In this panel, just select relative to first selected, and then align on the center horizontal axis, and there you have it. And now you can do that from here with these on this row. Same thing here. And that's that. Oh wait, I forgot these need to be aligned up and down as well. Now, technically the ones at the bottom are already aligned and the ones at the top are already aligned, so it's just the middle we're concerned about. But you can do the same thing with them and use the vertical axis. So just select the first one, oops, I forgot to select the first one here, or maybe I deselected that by accident. Alright, and that's basically it. Now you may ask, what if I want to add another page? And the thing is, Inkscape doesn't actually support pages yet, as far as I'm aware. There is a plugin that you can use, which I'll cover in a future stream, because I haven't used it in a while and I'm not sure if it is stable. But there was a plugin that I remember that allowed you to use pages in a kind of sort of sense. It wasn't perfect, but it was somewhat of a solution. But I still would suggest, if you're going to be producing multiple pages, use layers instead, because Inkscape has pretty good layer support, just no page support at this point in time, which I'm hoping will someday be added, because it would be really nice to actually have pages. So to demonstrate that though, what I will do, move all of these to the first layer, call this page 1. I'm going to delete these two layers. Oh wait, you can't select multiple layers, I forgot. Okay, so let me just delete those and duplicate page 1, call it page 2. And just to demonstrate, because usually I would be putting extras on this page. Is Inkscape frozen? Okay, thanks. It isn't. It's just being special. Alright, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to change the stroke color of everything. Or maybe I shouldn't do that, because I forgot there's a transparent object. Alright, let me not do that. Actually, yeah, let me do that, because if I choose the fill, it's going to turn the transparent object to another color. I don't want that, so seems like Inkscape is not responding. Yeah, Inkscape isn't responding. Everything else is, but for some reason Inkscape is not responding. Maybe it doesn't like all these images being changed at the same time, because currently Inkscape doesn't have GPU canvas support as yet, and my system is not the newest, so you have to forgive my system for being a little special at times. Now the way these are designed, recoloring them is not necessarily the easiest thing to do, so probably in a future stream I will show you how you can make this a lot easier, which would basically be combining every one of these into a single object, and then you could recolor them pretty quickly. Or there's another way, which I probably will not demonstrate, not because I don't know how to do it, but just because it's too much work and I'm not sure I want to go through all of that, which is assigning classes, because SVG of course is a web technology. But I would suggest, and I don't mind putting a plug here for someone else, if you want to, oh wait, I got a message, sorry about that folks, but if you want to if you want to find out how to use SVG from the source, you can follow Cassie Codes on Twitter, check her content. She does really great stuff with SVG, but she uses code directly. I'm not so much of that kind of person when it comes to SVG. I like CSS, I like HTML. When it comes to what you might call it, to SVG, forgot the word I was trying to call just now. I'm not really a coder that way. I can, but I don't like to do it that way because I like to do hands-on stuff. So, wait, let me check something here a minute, folks. Just a second. If you weren't hearing any music, just know that probably was an issue on my end with my setup. I hope that has been fixed. My apologies if you weren't hearing music all this time, because I probably told people earlier to enjoy the music and there may not have been any music. My apologies about that. Right, so I will probably cover how to make these easier to recolor in a future stream, because the way I designed them, they're not that easy to recolor in their standard format, unless you export them to PNG format, and then you can just change the hue or whatever you want to change and recolor them, which of course is still a valid way to do it. But if you want, you can probably, if you want to do it your own way, you can already try with what knowledge you would have gained and see if you can recreate a format, if you want to call it that, to allow you to recolor them on your own. That shouldn't be too hard. But right, when it comes to pages, as I was saying earlier, much earlier, I kind of went off on a tangent with all this other stuff, but when it comes to pages, this is basically how you would handle them. Just use layers, and you can just enable and disable layers as needed. The thing with Inkscape though is that because there is no collection support, and seeing as I ran through this so quickly, I'll probably talk about that, and I may actually have time to show you a mock-up of what I have in mind. Because there's no collection support for creating collections directly, as far as I'm aware, it makes it a little difficult to handle stuff like removing excess layers and that kind of stuff. So what I'll actually do, let me just save this and then I'll create a new document and talk about it while I do a mock-up. Alright, so that's saved, and let me create a new file, but first I'm going to close this, because as you probably notice, Inkscape is running a little sluggish. That is because I have so many images with so many layers and all that, that it's not really handling things too well. It's getting a little temperamental, so I'm going to close all those. Hopefully my memory is a little better now. What I'm going to do is run through a quick mock-up of the idea I have in mind. Right, so I was just going back from my notes there a second, sorry for that little delay. What I'm thinking is, similar to how you have this panel that has layers, we could have a panel, I can't actually see this rectangle I just created. Not sure why Inkscape didn't give it a color. Oh, it's transparent. That's what happened. Okay, right, so as I was saying, thank you Inkscape, we could have a panel that would be designed in a similar fashion to the layers panel. So I'm going to just add a very rough looking icon right now because I'm not bothering to redesign all this. Alright, let me turn off snapping because snapping is getting a little snappy. Alright, let's call this collection 0. So let's say this is your collection that you have, and within that collection you could have then a number of files. So you have, let's say, house design 1.svg, and then underneath that you would have a set of layers. In fact, let me not recreate that, I could just duplicate. Oops, hit the wrong key combination just now. Alright, so let's say that has 3 layers, just like we have 3 layers here. I was getting tongue twisted for some reason. I don't know what happened there just now. But, right, so this is our first collection, then the second collection would be similar to that. Oops, wrong thing selected. Alright, let's undo that. Group and go again. And then at the bottom, similar to how you have these buttons over here, you'd have a panel that has some buttons in and of itself. So we'll add plus and minus. I'm kind of running this off the top of my head too, by the way, so you're getting to see some of my design and thought process in real time. I did have notes, but I'm not actually following all of them, so we'll figure this out as we go. I forgot to rename this collection, so this would be collection 1. And there would be no need for buttons like these to move up and down. Instead, you would have a scroll bar. Alright, so alright, so this would be the basic layout of the collection screen, well, the collection panel that I have in mind. And now let me explain how this would work. If you add a new collection, what it would do is open the save box. First of all, it asks you where to save that collection. I'm not going to run through all the big details of what a save box looks like. We all know a nice little thing there, a save button there, and some files in here, a preview over here, bookmarks, and whatever else goes over here, I don't really remember. No need for what you call it, an extension selection box. So we'll take that out. Probably, oh yeah, there's also the new folder button. Right, so when you click this plus sign, let me see if I can draw a nice little arrow from here to there. Thanks to my partner for this tablet, really comes in handy. So When you click this, this is what would happen. You get a save box, and it will ask you to add the name in here. And of course this will be the name of a folder, because you'll have to create a new folder. And automatically what would happen is this SVG here will get copied to a new, I should rename this to 2 by the way, will get copied to a new file. So this would become, let's say, actually it'd be better if I demonstrate this by not having anything in this collection. So I will group and remove this. And by the way, if I'm pausing, I'm actually thinking through this as I go. I've never done this on stream before, so I hope that this is making some sort of sense to you. It's making sense to me in my head, but I have so many thoughts running at the same time. Alright, so let's say we had collection 0 and we click the plus sign to add a new collection. Then what would happen is a new collection would be created when we open this and create a folder, and automatically it will save a new SVG in there from the time that we create a new folder. So once you come back to this panel, you will see already host design tool or whatever, and the new collection and all the layers that you're working with. And if you are working within a collection, what would happen instead is that when you click the plus sign, or better yet, let me add a new button because it may be confusing to reuse the same button for that. So yeah, let me use a rectangle here. So let's say this is our new collection button, our new file, not new collection. So you're adding a file to a collection, so you click this, and now host design 2 will get duplicated into host design 3. So right, that would be the basic workflow, is that you would be able to then basically create new files within Inkscape without having to open a new window, and you manage them all from there. But the other cool thing is that you would be able to select using a, I'm trying to select this box here and it's not letting me get it right. You'll be able to select using a checkbox which layers you want to copy. So we're gonna add a little box on the side here. And for the sake of demonstrating a checkbox, we're actually going to make this black inside. Right, so let's say that we wanted to create a new Inkscape, a new SVG file from collection 0, and we click the new file button. That should, this is going to look really confused because I'm not doing this like an expert, but hey, who cares? I'm winging it. I nearly said call me Hawkman, but that's kind of cheesy, so I won't do that. But I'm some sort of superhero with wings today. But yeah, when you copy host design 1, what would happen is, oh, they forgot this is grouped. For the sake of ease, let me make this one the layer that I'm trying to copy. So right, you copy host design s.1.svg, and why is this still grouped? This here is what would get created and added to your collection. instead of all these layers, you just get the layer that you want. So what I would have done earlier would have been a lot easier. Instead of having to go through and select individual layers and then save and save and save and save and save, what would happen instead is that I would just basically click this button here, and whatever layers are selected get added to a new SVG file and added to a new collection within a folder. So it would make it really easy. Let's say I was working on an emoticon theme, I should say emoji. I'm just demonstrating my age. But anyway, if I were working on an emoji theme and I had a whole bunch of designs on different layers, like how I have for the base here, instead of having to run through all of these different layers and basically choose all the features that I want and then save, and then after I'm done I'd have to reopen. I'm going to demonstrate this now. Yeah, this is moving a little slow. Alright, so let's say I want to clean up the base from, or the file for concerns. Here's the issue I now have. All of these files will have all of the different options, all the different layers that I'm not using. So now to clean this up, I have to go through and individually delete every single layer. And as you can see, there are a lot of them. And I have to be careful that I don't delete the wrong one. This is another problem. So you see, this adds a whole lot of unnecessary work. Now I'm not sure if when you choose to clean up a document in Inkscape, if that is done for you automatically. I have to double check that in the documentation, but in any case that shouldn't be necessary. So I think a better way to do this would be to just simply add collections, which is somewhat similar to what Blender 3D has already, although I haven't actually used them since they were released because I haven't had any 3D work to do in a while, and having time to play around, you know, that doesn't happen anymore. I've gotten a little bit older and I'm not able to play around as much as I used to. But yeah, the point is, something like this would be super cool. But I think I'm probably going to cut it short today because I didn't really have anything else necessarily planned for today's stream to demonstrate to you. I'm thinking though in the near future that I want to expand on the Humanality project in terms of the actual design aspect to show you how you can keep consistency and commonality, and what was the third word? I actually forgot it. Shows you how long it has been. Only been a couple weeks, but it was commonality, consistency, and there was a third one that I do not remember. Alright, diversity. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry, I'm going to demonstrate to you how we can produce all three of those in different designs that are not human faces. So, for instance, I'm thinking to probably design a puppy, a cat, you know, basic stuff like that that you may find in emoji themes and in icon packs and stuff like that. I'll show you how you can keep consistent rules across all these different designs. Probably some objects like household items, like maybe some cars, planes, different stuff like that. Very simple basic things, and we'll iterate on that basic design that we had and try to produce something consistent using similar elements to what we would have started with in the original Humanality project. And in future, when well, I may or may not get to this first, but in future what I'm planning to do as well is to create a website template and a very basic CSS framework using the same color pattern and even the shadows, everything like that. Keep them consistent to show you how you can apply the same principles of design that you have here across different disciplines, which I obviously work in, which would be web design and graphic design. You can apply similar disciplines across all of them so that you achieve a consistent result. And then once I'm done that, we'll build a web page, and there is a bigger project that I have in mind, but I'm not telling you what that is yet. You'll just have to stay tuned and find out what that is. So in the near future, I encourage you, look out, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'm going to be dropping some Inkscape tutorials on there. A little less I wouldn't say a little less detailed, but less lengthy than my streams. They'll be more straightforward, easier to follow, and I'll do a whole lot less rambling because I'll actually have a more of a plan to my tutorials than my streams. But yes, you can go and subscribe to my YouTube channel and look out for those to drop very soon. Until next time, you know who I am. I don't need to say my name, but yeah, you know who I am. Until next time, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff that we do on the internet. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell a cousin, tell somebody you haven't spoken to in a long time to subscribe to my channel. You can support me on PayPal. You can buy my stuff on Redbubble and also soon Teespring if you're into that kind of stuff. Oh, and I'm taking suggestions for future streams in terms of designs, and I'm looking for some website templates or website mockups to design on stream for some fun and practice. So make sure you get those to me if you have suggestions. And I'll see you next time.